Okay.
Hey everybody! Welcome to this last edition of Blogging Lunchtime Bytes. Today we're just going to kind of wrap up. Won't take any last minute questions from anybody. I do have the comment stream open. And Terry Leigh Britton is going to discuss some tips and tricks using Headway. So, Ron, thank you so much for being our student this 8 weeks. It's been so much fun.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I learned quite a bit, and I'm sure I'm going to learn more today with Professor Terry here. He's never at a loss for giving out information, that's for sure.
Right.
That's definitely true. How are you today, Terry?
I'm doing good, doing good. And I will
Good.
do what I can to fill people's brains to overflowing.
Woohoo! So do we want to talk skunk first, or do you want to talk Headway first?
Skunk. Have to get the skunk out of the
Yeah,
way.
got to get the skunks in. Skunks and pigeons, we need them first.
Well, this one's just a skunk story. So I was sitting out on the back porch, and we've had some fabulous weather this week. It's been so wonderful. So I'm sitting out on the front porch this morning. At 7:20, 7:30 every morning, the skunk walks across the backyard and skirts the fence and goes into our neighbor's yard. Well, I'm watching for him and I'm not seeing them. I got my camera ready, and all of a sudden I catch a blip of black out of the corner of my eye, and I'm thinking, well, oh, we got a black cat coming to visit because I have 3 black feral cats in the backyard too. So now I'm turned this way because I want really trying to tame the cats. So I've got my head turned opposite from the cat. I'm watching out of the corner of my eye for the skunk, and I'm wiggling my fingers, trying to catch the attention of the cat. And I probably sit this way for about 5 minutes, and nothing's happening, and nothing's happening. So finally I decide to go, and look at the cat, and there's a skunk sitting right there beside me. I mean, I could have reached out and touched the blooming thing. But the way I relate this to blogging is we get so busy on blogging, you have so many little pieces that you have to keep track of. It's kind of like me watching out this way, trying to keep an eye on the skunk out of the corner of my eye, and trying to play with the cat down here. That if you don't balance it right, and if you don't set up a really good routine, you can lose it all. Or if you get off routine, which I'm off routine right now, which is horrible. I hate being off routine. So you just got to balance the cats and the squirrels and the skunks.
Yeah. And I can even monetize that one. That particular skunk was somebody's pet skunk that they were giving a $5,000 reward for, which is similar to that post that you didn't write that would have gone viral had you.
There you go. Okay, so do we have any questions from the audience? Or Ron, do you have any last minute questions over the stuff that we covered this 8 weeks?
You know what? There's probably so many questions I could ask. I'm just going to listen and learn, and if something pops into my head, I'll ask. If not, I'm just going to listen and learn. 'Cause there's so much I have to learn. It's I just might as well sit here and take notes,
Oh, I see.
Okay, well then I'm going to turn it over to Terry.
I guess I'm speaking extemporaneously then.
I like that word.
Yes. Yeah, I never get to use that word. Oh boy, finally get to use it. Which means
you're welcome.
Speaking off the top of one's head and or through one's hat or whatever. Well, I do need at least a question to get the siege started because I'm not sure what level people need answers. I can dive into full-blown deep dive, but I don't want to scare people.
The 2 things that we really covered on the Headway design was just setting up a default content block, or 3 things: setting up the header block and then setting up a widget block.
Oh, cool.
So we've gone through those. We haven't done any custom queries, so I don't know if you
Mhm.
want to look into that or not.
Oh, well, those are so cool. We definitely should cover those. I mean,
Okay.
imagine you just wanted one little teeny block, and all you wanted to do in there was a nice stylized, not just a plain text thing, but something that had the power of a WordPress page editor, right? With H1, H2, headings and bold and strong and colors and all that stuff. So you want to have a little tiny thing where you're going to put, say, your announcements for your next event or your next lecture or the next thing that somebody should pay attention to. But it's your little teeny featured don't miss this block that you want somewhere prominently near the top.
Okay.
All right. So sure, you could make a text block and type it in there, but you don't have as many of the tools as you have on a page. So wouldn't it be great if you could just put a page into a little teeny hole? Instead of having a page be a page, just have the content of that page be your little teeny spot. Because a page doesn't have to be full, as in a screen full of information. All a page is a container for holding whatever you want to type in there.
Right.
So what a custom query does, as opposed to the default, default simply pulls posts in, okay, from your blog thing. When you type in posts, a regular default is simply going to pull in that content.
Right, which is what we have going on Ron's page. We have the grid look going on.
Mm-hmm. So we can also make a little block. So you want me to pull? I have your new experimental page open, so I can show something over there. Let's see.
This is my rebrand that I'm moving next week.
Yeah, I'm trying to look where on here I can even.
Well, yeah, I've got that custom code block. You can take that out right now if you want. It's
that little teeny custom code block. That's empty right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me share my screen, and we'll see if I can crash the computer while doing this and that at the same time.
Yeah, don't do that, please.
Oh, never. That stuff never happens to me. I'm a pro. Okay, there we go. Start screen share. There's Ron. Oh, I didn't mean for you to look at him. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
So here we are in the back end of the page that we're working on, and we have this little custom code block that doesn't have anything in it yet. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to change it to I'm going to switch block type, and I'll just change it to a regular content block right there in the middle. Okay, and it'll ask me, "Are you sure?" And I'm sure because there's nothing in it. Here we go. So now we have this content block. So I'm going to right-click on it, and it already brought up the settings for it down here because I changed it. So it automatically brings in down here at the bottom. Let me just show. It already brings up all this stuff, the content block with the mode, the display. So you see the query mode is default behavior, and that pulls in blog posts. Okay? Right. So let me go ahead and see if I can't look at that block that we just made. Oh, I didn't save it yet. 1 second. 1 second to save. Here we go. And we'll take a look at what we've got just by not doing anything. And it's going to take a little while loading to reload because
all the bandwidth.
All the bandwidth I'm eating. Well, actually, all the CPU I'm eating up with this. Yeah. Okay, so as you see, it says home up here, meaning that it's trying to show the, some blog content as if it was the home page because it's default. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go back over. Oops, I went to the wrong one again. Let's go back over here to this content block, and let's change. Remember, you get to do open block options by right-clicking and saying open block options, and then it opens up down here. And you see it'll say content block because you haven't given it a cute name. By the way, the first thing I always do is I always give it a cute name. I go to config, and I give it a block alias, like cute name. Okay? And what's that do? What's that do? Look at that. Look up here. This block is now called cute name hyphen content.
Yay, so we
Ain't
know,
that
so it
something?
kind of cues us on what we're putting where.
Right, which block is which. And when you have a bunch of these little items open at the bottom, which you very well could, since it's so easy to get these, you just right-click and say, open block options. So you could wind up with a bunch of things down here. And rather than saying the same thing, I prefer to have them say cute name.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. So, under... Also, what's the other thing I want to show you? And you can give a block a title, which puts a little title underneath the block, but I say don't do that for now. All right, so here you see default behavior and custom query. And you notice right now it just says mode, display, and meta over here on the left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? When I hit custom query, a new field shows up, query filters. Okay, and what that query filters allows me to do is now I can fetch page content. Woo!
Woohoo!
Okay, and let's go over here, and you see I can bring in categories, tags, authors, posts. I can do it as posts. So you can have a tag or a category on your posts, right? You do that when you make a post. There's on the right side. There's a category entry place, or you can add a tag to it. So you can make this particular content using the filter just show the posts that have that particular tag or that particular category. All right? It's a great way to make a category type listing of things. And you can limit in the display, you can limit it to just titles and all kinds of things that you can narrow down how much is shown. Okay, so you can make it so it doesn't show it shows the titles and links them, but you can cut down on how much information that it's showing. Okay, by saying content to display. So full entry, show excerpts, or hide the entry content. Hide the entry content would just show the titles without showing any of the content.
Okay, and then a little box like the one up there, that might be the smart way to go.
Yeah, well, if you were showing posts, yes.
Right.
But I don't think that little box is big enough for showing posts. This would be more of a, what I'm showing you now, just explaining about the way of pulling in posts, would be more if you wanted a dedicated page to just your coconut muffin posts,
Okay.
And I don't know where I come up with the topics, because I've never written a post on a coconut muffin myself.
Have you ever eaten a coconut muffin?
I haven't even dreamt of coconut muffins. It's like totally so random, it's frightening. All right, but here you see the bigger deal is fetch page content, and right now it says do not fetch. But that is where you make a page that's just nothing but this little old information. So let's go ahead and make a page. So we go down here, pages. See, not posts. We're doing pages now. I'm going to add new, and I'm going to call this thing the coconut muffins feature. There we go. Okay, and so there I would have my content. This week's specials. Okay. Oops, can't type. And we have chocolate chip muffins with coconut. There we go. And to speed this along, all right. Yeah, I can't. I might double click it. There we go. Oh, I can't even spell peppermint. How terrible. Okay. And finally, we have hot pepper chip muffins. Okay, because we are very varied around here. And so now that you've got this thing, notice I didn't have to do anything. I don't add a parent. I don't add anything. You know, you can make this as fancy as you want, and it doesn't have to just be for a little teeny weeny thing. The main thing is that we've got, get out of here. Yeah, we have this little post that now has these things. And I have all the tools that I can just select, and I can make it bold, or I can show more of the things and make them, make this a heading by dropping down and saying heading 2, and now I'm going to have whatever my definition for heading 2 is that I do in my setup in Headway, and I can put in my dates, 40 each.
Those are some expensive muffins.
Yeah, I'm boutique.
Okay. Very specialized, right?
Yeah, boutique. And this is, of course, these, because it's such a specialized audience, these are 60. All right, so now we go ahead and publish. Here we go. And so now I have some content I can pull in. Now, it may not be the right font sizes and all that kind of stuff for this particular tiny slot, who knows? Well, I just threw some stuff in there.
Right.
I can now go in and I can say in my fetch content, and I'll have to refresh this probably to even see that. Let's see. Yep, I have to refresh it so it can find that page that I just created. So this might take a second. So you go ahead and say something while I'm doing it.
Okay, I want to say hi to Debbie Ferrand, who wishes everyone a happy Thursday, and hi to Joyce. Yay, Joyce Dickens is back. So I'm so glad y'all joined us. And if anyone has any questions, I do have Comment Tracker running, so just give us a holler.
Excellent. Now, hopefully this is going to load in okay with my computer being as slow as it is. Looks like I'm having trouble already.
Look at all that stuff you have open. Wow.
What?
I'm looking down at your bottom bar.
Oh, no, I don't have any of that open. Those are just icons. Those are just shortcuts. Okay. I don't have any of that stuff open. Don't worry not. Let's see if I can get this to load. I had trouble earlier, before the show, getting the grid to load.
Huh.
Do you make any of those muffins with blue juice?
Oh, I'm going to do it from here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes. Mostly from blue juice.
That's special stuff.
There we go. It's still giving me trouble. It's angry with me for having this thing open. Let's see if I have to close a tab or two.
Interesting.
No, it's not interesting. It's frustrating.
Wow.
There we go.
That is my way of saying frustrating.
But anyway, as you see, I did have to refresh the page after I added it in order for the item to show up. Okay? And you do have to do this in the grid mode, so let's just hope that it opens up. If not, I'll...
Well, can you maybe trick it and go into the...
I have to go into Chrome, maybe.
Well, I was thinking about maybe going into the visual editor and then flipping over to the grid from there.
That's what I did.
Oh, it didn't work.
That's how I tricked it before. So, okay, so, all right, just to continue talking while that's happening, let me stop screen sharing while I'm doing that.
Okay.
And the main idea is that now I have, under the fetch page, I can fetch this page content, and bingo, it shows up in there. And so I've made a page and customized it as I like. Not to mention that you can, furthermore, go in and, you know how you can right-click on a content and edit just this instance? That makes it so you editing just the fonts, just the colors, just all other stuff about just that one instance. So you're not changing all the fonts site-wide. So you have the choice of all those Google fonts that Headway gives you to make interesting headings and stuff like that, and interesting fonts to use. So you can have it really differentiated. And of course, using the regular page tools, you can insert a photo. You can have a custom, a photo and all that kind of stuff. So
if you can't pull it up, I do have it pulled up, and
okay.
You can walk me through if you want to.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, let me share my screen now. Okay, so here's our cute name, and I'm going to right-click and open block options.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to okay, so I saved on the custom query. So the query filter.
Yep. So fetch page content.
Okay.
To drop that down, you should be able to find my coconut muffins feature, and there it is.
All right, and then once I do that,
hit save. And now if you go over to the design mode, you should be able to see a mock-up of that.
It took me a long time to really appreciate the design mode, but I love it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was the same way. When I first started using Headway, because I know so much just CSS coding, I was using the custom CSS thing way more than I should have. And, here they have this fantastic editor. But there, you see how Coconut Muffins feature has shown up in there. And this week's specials was my chocolate chip muffins, peppermint chip muffins, and hot pepper chip muffins. Okay, so and we could now right-click on that and edit any of the see, like you have an H2 there, you have an H1, so you can edit.
Instance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oops, and pull this thing out. This is another thing that took me for
a
while.
Yes, you have to realize that if you hide it once, it stays hid.
Yes.
You have to bring it out.
Okay, so cute name title.
Yep.
So it's just doing specifically for
title. So you can go to the fonts, hit customize, and I hit that little pen, and I always go to my Google Web Fonts because I'm a maniac, and I love having 600 plus fonts to choose from.
It's great.
And so, yes, indeed. Oh, this is great. And quicksand. That's. Oh, yeah. Make it bold too. Yeah. It's,
okay.
Font styling. Yeah.
Font. Oh, okay.
Oh, and size. Yeah. That's probably
font
good.
Styling. There we go.
There we go.
Make it bold.
Oh yeah. And you do have to make it bigger. I was looking at this week's specials. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to. Now here's one thing: if you hover over this and you don't have to push the mouse button down, it will start going up and down, which is a little bit annoying.
Oh yeah, it'll just start taking off on you.
Yeah.
If you're hovering over that darn thing.
Yeah. And next thing you know, you've got something that's like 116. Pixels.
Oh no, I've gone to 682 pixels.
Have you really?
Yeah. Yeah, it took the page about 3 hours to refresh after that. So
I can so imagine that.
Yeah. Okay. No, it didn't really happen, folks. Don't panic.
Okay,
my computer only had to work for 3.5 hours. No.
What if I wanted to make this background? Let's say if I wanted this black text on a yellow background.
It has
Walk me through that.
Yeah, there's under the font. You can give you want the whole thing a yellow background?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Okay, so right click right there.
Okay.
Container. Edit this instance.
Okay, and that comes over here. It says cute name page.
And so you have background. Bingo. Color.
Yay! And choose the white, and then I don't want
yellow.
I'm going. Maybe.
You have a yellow down there at the bottom.
No, it's brown.
Oh, that's a brown. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, There we go. Yellow.
Okay, bright. Yeah. Oh.
Bright yellow. And then we could also put a border around it if we wanted to.
Oh, yeah. Big, cute border. And they have all kinds of styles for the borders, by the way, folks. It's so easy because you can just choose right from there.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to assign. Yep. So grooved. Oh, how groovy. Now you do have to give it a sign and a size. Now what I'd usually do is I click that thing in the middle. That makes it so you change all sizes at once with borders.
Oh, cool.
You click that little link in the middle in it.
Yeah, I did that.
There you go.
All right. I now see. I just learned something new. I did not know that. Okay, so save.
Yeah.
And now we have.
So you have a grooved border. It's groovalicious, and so now, of course, my specials. I have so many of them that it pushes everything down and takes up so much space. But that wouldn't happen to you.
No.
You just you get your fonts so that they are small enough that everything fits in there. If you need 3 things in that small space, just make your font small.
Now, is there any way to hide, to maintain a specific height on the block?
Yes.
So let's say I don't want it to do this. I want it to chop off whenever it hits the bottom of the header.
Right. Well, there is a way. Look, let's see if Headway's given us a way this yet. I actually not sure. So right-click on. No, like you're doing. You are doing the right thing. Edit this instant. Yeah. And let's take a look at the thing. Nudging, margins, corners, padding. Nope, they don't. This is a custom thing that we would have to type in as code.
Okay, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's for another day.
Well, you see that little edit live in live CSS?
If
you click that little link right there, it opens up the CSS thing. And you can hit enter a couple of times, and we can throw something at the top just to show off how it's done. But,
okay. We don't even know what this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we do. We're in. Oh, I thought it put it in there for us. At the bottom, maybe. Look at the bottom. There it is. That's the one.
Okay, so we could do height.
200 px.
Okay.
Px. There we go. And let's take a look if it worked. Move that aside. Just move that out of the way. Well, you didn't have to hide it.
That's quite a bit. Lower, but not.
Yeah, but you can drag that out. Yeah, there you go. Because it's live. It happens as you type. So
that's really cool. So
okay, now click after there, and let's put in an overflow so it scrolls.
Okay.
Okay, so hit enter and type overflow :auto. Let's see if that works. Yep, there's scroll bar. Ta-da!
There we go. Woohoo! How's that?
All right. Anybody happy yet?
I'm happy.
Okay. All right. So that's how that's done. And it's just those 2 commands. You set the height, and then you set the overflow to auto. And the way the auto works is that if the content ever goes below the fixed height, scroll bars automatically appear. So that really gives you, because you set it up that way, you can then later, you can originally have only 1 item in there and it doesn't overflow. But later on, you can add some more items, and bingo, you get a scroll bar. Which is useful for people see older items if you do it in reverse chronological. Like, our events, and you have the most recent at the top, and they can scroll down and see past events. That kind of deal.
That's very cool. So, Ron, do you have any questions?
No. Like most of the time when Terry goes through this, it goes over my head.
Well, I want to point out one thing about the CSS. Can we show a CSS? Let's show that CSS editor again real quick so that they can get a basic thing to de-scarify it.
Because it always seems like it's scary when you're looking at code.
Yep, but it's not. Now remember, we got to this thing
I'm
Oh,
coming. Sorry. There it is.
here we go. We got to this thing just by clicking that little funny symbol that was to the right when we edited this instance, and it automatically inserted the correct block.
Right.
Where are you? What's going on?
I wanted to show where that was. So
Oh,
it's
that
this
thing.
little
Yeah, yeah.
bracket
See
right here.
that little bracket. So when
Yeah.
we were editing that instance, it actually inserted it, and now you have an extra one. But you see, this is what a blank one would look like.
Right.
And so inserted that, then, and it's got those little curly braces, and in between the curly braces is where you type in the various parameters that are specialized parameters that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So the way it works, it's sort of like going to get surgery for weight loss, okay? Where, where they do that surgery, the weight loss surgery, where they work on your intestines. So, because it's height, and then there's a colon, and then there's 100 px and a semicolon. So you go in with a colon, and you come out with a semicolon, just like weight loss surgery.
And if you forget one, it doesn't mess up. Like, okay, let's say I forgot the overflow semicolon.
Oh no, it would mess up.
It would take away the overflow, but it wouldn't change to 100 px.
Oh no, it could. It may not change that, but it can change everything following that. All the code following that would break.
That's true.
Yeah. So always remember, you need to get the weight loss surgery. Go in with a colon, come out with a semicolon. All right.
All right.
And so that's the easy way that I remembered it. And I kept spacing out, and I kept trying to think that it's supposed to be overflow equals or height equals. The equivalent of equals in the CSS is colon. And then semicolon ends the line. And you have to have that semicolon there, or it breaks everything that follows later on.
And there's some awesome CSS tips and tricks out there. Just if you do decide you want to go in and play with the CSS, just go do a search. I mean, that's we found several examples, Terry and I, when we were working on the menus, and I finally got the heart overlay to work just by going in and playing with just the regular controls rather than trying to do it up with CSS.
Neato. You have to show me how you did that, because I was lost. Well, I was brain dead that night. I had overdone it the day through that whole day. I'd been at meetings working on grant proposals. It was like, my brain hurts. So.
Well, I think that's a good place to stop, and maybe do a little pitch for if you want to join us in July, beginning of July. I want to start another session. So it's an 8-week commitment. You get to learn as much as I can teach you about blogging, and trying to drag Terry in and Bill Reed and anyone else who can give us some great tips and tricks. So just reach out and holler at me and let me know you're interested, and we'll get you on.
Yeah, you're not going to learn it overnight, and the more you play with it and use it, the more you're going to learn. It's probably going to take you at least 2 weeks. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
At least 2 of the 8 weeks. Yeah. At least you'll be spending at least 2 of the 8 weeks learning. And the rest, just all sponge mode, just soak it in.
And I think it's important for a business person, whether they're planning to maintain the content, whether they're planning to have a content manager do the content for them, just to have an understanding of what's happening on your back end, in your website, so that you can go to someone and say, can we do this, and you have a knowledge base on whether or not it can be done.
Well, I'm wondering how many people are using this headway, like Terry's explaining to us, and like Arizona, like you showed me when we did the band, put everything in. It just seems like it's a great way to do things.
Yeah, it's an awesome template. I'm so grateful for Terry introducing me to it.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right. I don't even remember how I stumbled on it. Right when they came out with the version 3, they had just started phasing out the version 2, which was a completely different method of doing stuff, and it was cumbersome code. It was a learning experience for the original programmers, and but it was really time to phase it out and do a modern, extensible version that they could build upon. And so they started rebuilding the code. So I was with them during that really uncomfortable first year where a lot of things broke, and you know, but I was active on the forum, probably too active. And but like I said, I was still in my stupid CSS mode, and so when people couldn't do stuff, I kept showing them CSS. I was pissing off the authors because they're going, "Come on, show how it's done in Headway." You know, we couldn't really type that, so
Right.
so. But then they started producing really good tutorials, and the whole Headway scene now is just so cool. I'm such a huge supporter of their project, and it's really a father and son operation. And they hired some people as moderators for the forums to help with customer support, and they're just growing very organically.
And they do have really good customer support because I've gone out to the forums a couple of times. With some questions, and the only thing I found irritating is, like I said, if you hover over the arrows, you don't have to push your mouse down, the numbers just start going hog wild.
Right, but you can complain about that stuff and get almost immediate responses. It's incredible how quickly Clay will write. Clay is the son, and his father was a project manager before, an engineer, so they're working together. So Grant is the kind of the first person you hear from in interfacing about business matters, but Clay is the actual programmer. He's not on the forums that much, but when it comes to something like a feature request or something like that, he's often in that thread. And otherwise, they've got really, really good moderators that really know how to explain stuff, and they've been producing lots of videos. So. Anyhow.
So, the next 8 weeks we're going to go and we're going to play around with Headway again, of course. And I think this time we're going to play with PicMonkey as our image editor this next 8-week round. So,
can't lose.
I guess, no.
You have so many good image editors now that are free.
I love PhotoFlexer.
PhotoFlexer? I haven't even used that one yet.
It is really strong. So
PhotoFlexer, huh? I'm writing it down.
It's PhotoFlexer, photoflexer.com. And it's so much stronger in Canva. I mean, Canva, we couldn't even do the header design in. So that flopped.
And then when you need to do complicated stuff, you go to a Pixlr's editor or something like that. And I've been doing a lot of videos and tutorials on that, and I'm going to be doing more.
Well, PhotoFlexer, I think, is every bit as strong. I mean, it has layers and yeah, I think it's.
I got to check it out. There's certain things that are frustrating me in Pixlr, in terms of the way the masks where selections are difficult to do. So, so I'll take a look at PhotoFlexer. I'm really looking for an answer there where I can send people over when they want to do compositing, meaning put a picture inside of another picture.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that there's some more solutions.
I think PhotoFlexer might work.
I have a question for you, Arizona, since you've been using it quite a while. Can you do halftones in PhotoFlexer?
What's a halftone?
You're talking about transparencies?
Well, no, it's like I do sandblasting, and if you do a photograph and you want to sandblast it on glass, you have to make a halftone with the dots on. You have to convert it to black and white, make a halftone with the dots on, and then you go through the process of making your photoresist, put it on your piece, and then blast it. So that's a halftone. Years ago, it was done in the printing industry to make halftones when you saw all the newspapers with all the little dots on the picture. That was done by a halftone technique.
Right. No, the answer is no. You're talking to a former college professor here who taught printing. Okay. And what you're talking about requires a specialized piece of software to create the hexagonal dots.
Well, I know you can do it. You can do it in Photoshop Elements. You can make halftones in there.
Oh well, then you're not talking about You're not talking about the halftones I'm talking about. Okay.
No, you're talking about the printing industry. I'm talking about just taking a photograph and what to make a halftone.
Well, yeah, but you said printing industry made dots, and they make dots with a Rosetta pattern that's done by a specialized piece of software.
Right. Yeah. No, it's a little
so
different.
You just mean make it into a grayscale bunch of halftones where it's specific steps, and that's easy. Yeah. I'm sure that they have.
Yeah, I'm sure PhotoFlex can do that, but
it's an easy filter. That goes back to Photoshop 2. They've had those.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You pick how many grayscales you want and stuff like that. Posterize can do a similar thing. Anyway.
Yep. Alrighty, well, we're done with this 8 weeks. Ron, I'm going to look forward to your new About page. You are redoing it, right?
Yes, I'm going to be redoing that, and I'll probably be calling you, but I'm going to try it on my own to replace it, and we'll see how I make out. And but yeah, I'm going to replace it because we decided that it just was not good enough.
Okay, and I want to give everyone a heads up that today's Visions is going down next Wednesday, and it will probably be back up again by Thursday or Friday.
You got a sneak peek of what it's going to look like.
Yeah, the rebranding. There's a couple more tweaks I want to do on it, but basically that's it. So, go ahead and sign up for your free website. You'll get to play with Headway or Responda theme, or a couple other themes out there you can play with. And join us on our next 8 weeks that we're going to do beginning of July. So I will see y'all later.
I'll be watching anyway, even though I won't be on.
If I don't get a volunteer, I may drag you on again.
Yeah, they drag you on.
Come on, Ron!
I'll get a notice and I'll okay.
You can't lose. I mean, if nothing else, it's a lot of fun to sit here and do these shows, but you're going to learn a lot too.
Yes, you do. And no matter what you do, even if somebody else does your site for you, knowing what's going on and how to talk to them, being more in tune and educated as to how it's done is going to be a plus for you.
Yeah. So, Terry, thank you so much for coming on.
Okay. Gee, that was easy.
That was fun.
Not even an hour long. Golly.
Yeah,
I always do hour-long things, usually.
Yeah, you didn't even have to break out your flute.
Right, exactly.
I aim for half an hour, and we almost always go 45 minutes.
That's the way it is.
Yeah. All right, everybody. I will see y'all in July. Bye.
Bye.